Alright, it is time for day one of the Torgue Mod. Now, I want to start from the main menu here, because I want to show you guys how you actually run this mod, since it is brand new, and it's a little bit wonky right now. There are a lot of bugs being reported immediately, so it might cause some crashes, the game might explode. I think that's fitting of Torgue, so it's okay. We'll go ahead and just get started. So, first and most simple thing, you execute the mod right here with BLCM. And then after you do that, you will see down here in your mod folder that a Torgue Python mod will show up. You enable that, and then you're good to go. As long as you run an Axton after that, it should run fine, everything should work. One of the things that might be broken in your game if it doesn't immediately run is the fact that initially the mod author changed the name of the Python mod, and if he did, all you need to do is just rename it. So in the base version of the mod, it is called Torgue Python. Just remove Python and then save it, and it should just work, and it should detect it. Now, here's another problem that people have noticed. Some of the lights are a little bit weird. Claptrap has this light on him. All the fast travels have their little dinky light also messed up texture-wise. That will surely get fixed. A lot of reports are coming in really fast about this mod because it is nice and brand new and people do want to go ahead and play it. And another thing is the fact that I will be running this mod on keyboard and mouse instead of controller like I traditionally would, because there are additional keybinds. If we go over here to keyboard and mouse modded keybinds, we can see Torgue has 5 custom binds that you can use for your skills. And this should be interesting, hopefully. Now, right off the bat, you can see we have Torgue. His third-person model is a little bit goofy sometimes, but it can work fine. He's kind of just, sometimes he works, sometimes he doesn't if you're in third person like that. If we go ahead and look in here, we've almost got the Krieg effect where he almost takes up the screen, but he does stay weirdly out of the way, which is really nice. Of course, we do have skill trees. I'll go ahead and try to get through them a little bit. They are very, very stacked, and a lot of them are 1-point skills. So these are going to be very interesting. We'll probably end up with a near full spec by the end of the game, because look at how absurd this is. Okay, so I would normally read through the skill trees and explain what everything is, but generally, this is going to be a very hard time if I were to do that. I think we will just wait until we're actually playing the game to explain a lot of the stuff that's happening here. We have the Torgue skill tree here, which seems to be very gun-centric. We've got a lot of stuff that has to do with explosions, or getting ammo, or using our damage to get action skill back. We've got shoulder-mounted turret. We've got we get like little pet drones, which is kind of like Wilhelm a little bit. We get DR here from doing melee stuff or something. We get more damage for Torgue tokens. We get some more action skill cooldown rate stuff here. Yeah, that's something. That's a skill. Gives us reflection. We've got the boar, but not extra damage boar. Probably more damage boar. Don't know. We've got increased Torgue gun efficiency, so that's a thing. And then we've got what I can only imagine is Ubercharge from TF2. Now, the reason I think this is because it is a quote from TF2 right before the medic uses Ubercharge. So if that's the case, we might just become invulnerable temporarily, i.e. the Ubercharge from TF2. So that might be how this works. Now, Middle Tree is all about buffing nuke damage and other explosive damage type things. We can have explosion on death, we can have more benefits to our turret exploding, which it is Axton's turret, but it permanently has a nuke bound to it. We've got more nuke damage, we've got double nuke, so that's Gemini turrets basically. We've got some DR, or some more nuke damage. We've got something. These are skills, surely. And there's a lot. There's just so much stuff in this tree as well. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Now, The right tree is a more melee ability spammy type of thing. So we've got a lot of stuff. There's just so much stuff. We've got uppercut, but it causes an explosion. We've got movement speed and shield recharge delay on a stack during action skill or something. We've got an ability to make slag laser death beam. We've got other stuff. We've got more stuff. There's just so much stuff. We're just gonna have to play through the game and just try a lot of it. I think initially, I don't even know. I kind of want to go down middle tree, but also I don't know. Right tree is also interesting, but middle tree looks very funny because it does include just throwing a lot of nuke turrets at people, whereas right tree is more of a Dragon Ball. You have a death beam laser, you punch dudes and they blow up, and a lot of stuff like that. And then left tree is a more calm tree, weirdly. So I don't really know. There's just too much stuff. There's so many options here. And of course, for this run, I will try to remain as Torgue Allegiant as possible. The skyrocket isn't supposed to exist, apparently. I will probably at least run a weapon or two until we get some Torgue weapons, though, because I'm not entirely a masochist with this. And hopefully this should be interesting. Now, another thing initially that I do want to point out is we do have more aerial control on this character. We will probably be stacking a lot of movement speed, so we will be able to get to take good advantage of that. And we basically are going to become a rocket jumping, throw nuke, explode people kind of character. And it should even be easy to do, as I believe there is a skill dedicated to reducing Krieg's weight, so that you can do rocket jumps even easier. So we'll have to find that somewhere in here and then use it, because that's just fun. Oh, okay, I've found it. So it is called Screamin' Eagles, so we do have a lot of TF2 representation here. This increases our self-knockback, and then it also gives us more airborne melee damage, so we can market garden people, I guess. So that'll be interesting. Rocket jump at a dude and punch him in the face, deal like 3 times more damage on level 1. I don't know if that skill has higher levels to it, but it should be interesting at the very least. Alright, so hit level 5 off of Lilith DLC really quick there. I do want to go ahead and throw nuke turret at somebody just to kind of show what that feels like, because it is dumb. It is very, very, very dumb. Nice. And then it does still have normal turret timer, which is unfortunate, but it is kind of just what it is. So that's okay. Oh, yeah, so this is that missing texture I was talking about here on the fast travels. It's just kind of a thing. Apparently it will be addressed and fixed, probably. The mod author genuinely thought that their game was the one that was messed up and that it wasn't a part of the mod necessarily, but apparently it was. So that might just get addressed soon. Now, I do also still have BL2 fix on, but I don't have any of the loot changes on. I don't necessarily know if it'll make a big difference. I feel like a lot of the drops are still, you know, vanilla. It's just the fact that they are changed to be Torgue. Alright, we've got our first Torgue gun here. And this did just remind me of a change that the mod author made. They're not particularly a fan of the idea of drop reloading. So if you drop a weapon and then you pick it up, it will spawn with an empty magazine. So probably don't try to drop reload in this mod. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a problem, as I am not a keyboard and mouse player normally, so it's not even in my reflexes necessarily. And also, you can just throw explosions at dudes, so like, why would you need to reload? This is gonna work. hold on. Let's look at how tall Mr. Torgue is. Look, to be fair, I guess these guys are kind of hunkered down a little bit, but he's so tall. He's so out of place here too, it's great. I guess I have to wait through this timer. Perfect. Nailed it. Alright, so let's get to work on one of these skill trees. So, I'm thinking middle tree for right now. See if we can immediately get any cooldown or anything. This is just increased damage. Okay. And then this one gives the player health regen. And then also if an ally is hit by a nuke turret, it will heal them. Well, I don't need survival early, so let's just go damage, I guess. This entire playthrough is just gonna be me pressing F, and then enemies exploding for it. I'm kinda here for that. Torgue next to an ammo vendor, or crouch next to an ammo vendor. Oh no, can I fit through this? Am I too tall? Oh wait, nope, I can fit. Alright. I think the camera placement is just higher, but actually my character's hitbox is still probably about normal player height. I was a little bit worried about that, but there aren't really many applications where that could be an issue. I was just curious more than anything. Oh wow, he's not dead. Alright, well hold on. Don't go fire phase yet. There we go. Alright, what does he look like in a car? That is a nightmare. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Look at this guy. Okay. Alright, now I don't know if we're capable of receiving class mods. I feel like this character certainly does not need any. There might be unique ones? I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure how this mod handles it. Maybe there's only the legendary class mods, maybe the basic class mods have been gotten rid of. I might re-roll this vendor a couple times, see if we can even see an Axton comm, which would be Torgue in this situation. And if I don't, we'll just run off of the assumption that maybe it just doesn't exist. Alright, so we do have class mods. This is really good. This one is cooldown, melee, and gun damage, all in the same comm, which sounds like a lot, but I'm not one to complain about that. So maybe I'll farm these out a little bit more. I think I'm more interested in the action skill cooldown rate though, so I don't necessarily think any other ones will be particularly better for what I want to do. But I don't know, I just want to throw nukes at people, so the more cooldown the better. Okay. So I was only able to find the one class mod here. I'm not really too worried about that, as that should be fine. It's basically what I would want for this character. But it is weird that they don't seem to exist much.
At the sound of the explosion, it will be Torgue o'clock!
I can't wait to get Gemini turrets. Gemini turrets on this character ought to be really stupid. New class mod, more cooldown rate, and melee damage. Okay. Honestly, I'm mainly here for the cooldown, so I want this. I am interested in seeing what skills they eventually buff, so I will need to try to farm out comms, at least a little bit, to see what those are like. But they might like buff slightly different stuff, and seeing what skills they have and all of that stuff is very useful, because then you can decide what class mods are worth actually like running fully, which ones do the big slap, stuff like that. So yeah, so far, I mean, we are just kind of playing a pretty normal character outside of the fact that we just throw a nuke at people sometimes. So that does feel pretty nice. I think we'll be able to make it to Roland today, as we have talked a lot about what the character can do already. Already covered a lot of goofs and a lot of stuff like that. So probably at least up until there is where we'll go for the day. Okay, another new class mod. This one is a Slayer with cooldown, gun damage, and max health. These are all pretty similar, honestly. But I'm okay with that, I guess. I don't know. They are pretty similar. I guess the plus to skills is mainly what you're going to look for on these comms. And that is more of what I'm interested in later in the game anyway. So, yeah, we'll see what those are like. Okay, so we've got 2 more class mods in here. We've got a tank, which gives us health regen and max health, but reduces our melee damage and gun damage. And then there is also a class mod called Friend, which provides team health regen. I know it says Healies. I changed my text files, don't worry about that. But it provides team health regen instead, which is also interesting. I think that has to do more with the skills that provide us with pets. Like, for example, this skill right here is supposed to give us an... wow, I'm blanking. A Goliath. This skill gives us a Goliath. We've got a Torgue employee over here. And then we've got some assistant turret drones over here. So these should all be pretty cool. Alright. This class mod surely is just supposed to be a skill buffing class mod that has no innate effect of its own. So that's interesting. Or it's broken. It could also be broken. The mod is very new. But this one exists too. Badma. I am a little underleveled. It does not matter though. I am Torgue. That's all that matters here. Alright, leveled up. 2 of these skills are 1-point skills. That's great. Okay, so let's see. After being hit by an enemy, you gain increased nuke damage for a short period of time. Okay, so up to 100% at level 5. Double nuke. Reactor core meltdown. Upon death, your body detonates a nuclear bomb. Okay, so this one I will run. The one that involves dying, probably not, because dying means that you died, and like that's not useful to going forward to me. But like these 2, of course. Definitely these 2. God, there's so much stuff. Gives you a random chance to deal infinite melee damage. Okay, is this literally just like... What's the percent on this, and does it work against raid bosses? Because that's a free pass. 1 in 150. I would probably punch a raid boss more than 150 times trying to kill it. So that's worth. That's so worth. That's a free chance to just delete a guy. That's like running Maroon's Razor as an offhand item in Skyrim, because, like, why not? Alright. So we are level 11, we have double nuke now. I'm going to go ahead and wait out this timer and then start off with the second timer to see what that feels like. Of course, it should just feel like 2 turrets here. So throw out first one, throw out second one. Beautiful. Nice. And this should be level 12. Yep, there we go. Okay, so with that, we get to put a point into this skill right here. This means that if we take damage and then throw a nuke, we will deal 20% more nuke damage. Also, on top of that, I do have a couple Torgue items here. Not many, but a couple. Still trying to hold out for a Hulk. Maybe also another weapon, maybe a pistol, something like that would be nice too. But I'm not necessarily getting great luck with Torgue item drops, which is fine because I'm just going to throw nukes at people anyway. Okay. So Bloodshot Stronghold should pretty much just consist of doing this to people. This is no surprise to me. This is exactly what I was hoping it would be. maybe a little bit too strong, obviously, if you're used to like a vanilla character and like actually want to play the game with some amount of difficulty to its name. The mod author does recommend a couple of extra mods if you do want the extra fun from it. A difficulty mod, a spawn multiplier mod, stuff like that. Things that'll increase enemy density and maybe difficulty if you want that. So you could run those if the character does feel too easy. I think starting tomorrow I might run an enemy multiplier. We'll just kind of see about that. But it's probably what we'll end up doing.
At the sound of the explosion, it will be Torgue o'clock!
About there. Yeah. Alright, and Warden will be our last fight of the day. Only potential problem is we are using grenade damage against a constructor here. Constructors don't typically care about grenade damage, but also if we just shoot them, it goes away. So that's fine, I guess. Right, and there we go. So, pretty good day one overall. Spent a lot of time talking about a lot of stuff, so can't really go too much further. We have so many skills and so many options, and there are a lot of 1-point wonder skills throughout here, so I'm sure we'll learn what they do passively over time. We are rocking an all Torgue setup, because why not? For our relic, though, I'll probably run a cooldown relic, just simply for the fact that being able to throw out more nukes more often sounds incredibly useful on this character, especially considering the damage they deal, at least here in normal mode. So, yeah, feels good. Character feels very solid. Everything seems to work. Haven't had any issues so far outside of that missing texture. And of course, initially setting up the mod was a little bit awkward, but that comes with new mods and it comes with trying out new forms of running stuff. So, not bad. Day one.